Okay, I got the, let me see, what do I have? The one Riget from Brunini. And it's a circulation banknote dating back from 2011 to 2019. And this is what I gotta say on the obverse right now.
Hassan al-Bolkiah, born the 15th of July 1946, is the 29th and current Sultan and Yangdi Pertuan of Brunei and the Prime Minister of Brunei. He is one of the last absolute monarchs in the world. The eldest son of Sultan Omar Ali Saifuddin III and Raja Istari, Queen Pengiran Anak Damit, he succeeded to the throne as the Sultan of Brunei. Following the abdication of his father on the 5th October 1967, the Sultan has been ranked among the wealthiest individuals in the world. In 2008, Forbes estimated the Sultan's total peak net worth at $20 billion United States dollars. After Queen Elizabeth II, the Sultan is the world's second longest reigning current monarch. 3. On the 5th October 2017. The Sultan celebrated his Golden Jubilee to mark the 50th year of his reign on the throne. 4. Flower at center, Bunga Simpor, Dillenia suffruticosa, is the national flower of Negara, Brunei. Darussalam. It has yellow flower and pink fruit, which also looks like its flower and large leaves. This is often seen on large banners during national celebrations of Brunei.
Okay, been feeling a little under the weather, don't feel like reading all that, so yeah, I'm gonna auto read, then I'll do my extra stuff. But this is on the reverse as well.
Bandar Seri Begawan at center is the capital of Brunei, a tiny nation on the island of Borneo. It's known for the opulent Sultan Omar Ali Saifuddin Mosque. Omar Ali Saifuddin Mosque, Malay. Masjid Omar Ali Saifuddin, is an Islamic mosque in Bandar Seri Begawan, the capital of Brunei. It is often considered as one of the most beautiful mosques in the Asia Pacific. It is a place of worship for the Muslim community, a major historical site, and a famous tourist attraction of Brunei.
Okay. I'm going to cover the topic on choices. In the Bible study, choices involve understanding of difference between following God's path of life and blessings and choosing worldly desires that leads to negative consequences. Key themes including making a conscious choice and trust God, obey His commandments, and seek His will over immediate pleasures. While being aware that one's choice have internal significance, the structure approaches in making decisions including prayer, studying scriptures, seeking counsel, and yielding to God's will. So choose life over death. The Bible presents a fundamental choice between the path of righteousness and that leads to life and the path of disobedience that leads to destruction. Trust and obey. This involves trusting in the Lord in all your heart and not relying on your own understanding. Seek God's will. Prioritize seeking the kingdom of God and His righteousness. Believe that God will provide your needs. Obey commandments. Follow God's commandments is presented as a way to experience blessings, peace, and joy. Value eternity over immediate pleasure. Make choices that align with eternal promise rather than short-term gratification. Be mindful of consequences. Recognize that every choice, whether good or bad, has lasting consequences that affect your future. That even includes freedom of speech. It doesn't come without freedom of consequences. Like, I'd say best example is your job. If that would get out to you like social media, you type in what you want to say, you could lose. It could get to your job posting. It probably wouldn't represent the culture. You could lose a job. That would be like the best example I can give. So examples of this is in Joshua 24:15. Choose to serve the Lord of the gods of the land. Genesis 25:24-34. The story of Jacob and Esau shows consequences of choices. like Esau selling his birthrights for a meal. In Matthew 6:33, the choice to make first kingdom of God and his righteousness. And one more would be Daniel 6:13-28. Daniel's choice of remain faithful to God even when facing severe consequences highlights the importance of being a true being true to commitments. So, the phrase "I had no choice" is often considered not an excuse because it can be a way of avoiding responsibility for one's actions, even if a situation feels constrained. While it can describe a feeling of being forced into a situation, it's often seen as an excuse when it deflects from accountability by denying any alternative. So there's always a choice, really. Even an unpleasant one existed. Some argue that even in the most difficult circumstances, there is always a choice, even if it's simply how you react to the situation or which of two options you choose. So this is the reasons why that would be an excuse when you say "I had no choice." It can be used to shift blame to avoid taking ownership of the outcome or decision. It can create false sense of powerlessness, suggesting that external force of circumstances were entirely in control even when the individual made a decision. And another, if used repeatedly, it can prevent someone from learning to navigate difficult situations, from developing resistance. So, like I'd say, if you say you have no choice, let's work with a difficult one. Like, let's say you're being robbed. Of course, you have no choice. Either be killed or give it up. And some choices, people actually did do a little hard way. Some of them did get killed. Some of them even tried to get killed I watched the first 48-7 actually got killed because he pulled out a gun trying to save. So there's always a choice. The choice is to be killed, or the smart one would be just to give it up. Like, not the wisest choice you can make, but it's a hard choice, but there's always a choice. And let's go with a not so hard one. Let's say you got no choice but to work overtime, or it's going to kind of get you, or you get fired. So you always have a choice. You can either not come and just deal with the consequences from there, or come. So there's always a choice. So I'll read some verses here. Read Colossians 3:1. Isaiah 66:2. God made everything. People should honor and fear God, which will result in humility, submission, and total obedience. 1 John 8, he was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. And here's some from Paul Washer. 1 John 2:15, what is the world? Everything in this age that contradicts and contributes against the will of God. Example, secular music or Christian music, whether it's secular or Christian. If the lyric contradicts the will of God, does the lyric contradicts the will of God? Another example would be TV. Do you watch things that expects God? Do you watch these crazy things and you expect God to move? Off-color jokes, you laugh at their jokes and wickedness and humor and laugh about it, and you expect God to move in your life or in your family. That's something y'all should pray and ask about. I mean, hard thing to swallow, but it's there. And afterwards, I'll finish off with a taser. I'm out.